Hey guys, Vince Luca here with another tips and trick video. Let's get right into it. So first off, on the PS5, if you press up and hold on the D-pad, you're gonna pull out your torch. So this is really useful if you're in a dark area. Just hold up on the D-pad and you'll get your torch. And if you hold down, you and your group are gonna go into sneak mode. So hold down and it's gonna be a quick sneak. Our next tip comes from a viewer, and he said he or she said if you click the R3, it highlights everything on the road in front of you or behind you, and it's easy to see what objects you can pick up. So for, like, let's say these leather boots, I probably wouldn't have seen them. Or if you're just walking around, press down on the R3 stick, and like here, this backpack, I would have never seen this behind this trunk right here. So yeah, as you're walking around, press that button once in a while and it's going to show you some stuff that you could interact with. So thanks for that tip. Another good tip that I put in my previous video, and I'm going to put in this one in case you missed it, is go into movement mode or in jump mode by pressing up once on your D-pad, and you could fly around the camera and look at different areas. Sometimes there's things that you're going to miss if you don't do this. For example, I was in one area where I did it, and I actually saw that there was something on the other end of this hole here, which is some kind of giant bird nest, and I wouldn't have seen that if I didn't do that. So yeah, if you want to move around the camera, it's gonna show you locations and things that you might have missed, and if it's too far, just do a jump spell and you'll be able to jump there and open whatever you find in the chests. Another tip for while you're fighting is these oil barrels are really good. If you blow them up, they're going to spill oil everywhere, and then you could dip your weapon in a campfire or a torch or anything that's lit around. That's going to put your weapon on fire if you dipped it in fire, and you could shoot your arrow that's on fire into the oil, and whatever enemy is there is gonna burn and, you know, get some damage. So that's a little quick battle tip. You can move around the camera and look inside people's heads if you don't want to use your passenger. This tip comes from Soapy Bottom Boys, and he says hold X to do a search all around you. So when you come to an area that has a lot of things, hold X, it's going to search in that little area around you, and you could click on things that you want to pick up. If it's written in red, it's because you're stealing, so try to be careful with that. It's really useful when you're going into a room that has a lot of things or tables that are filled with stuff, instead of going around, you know, one by one. Like, for example, in this room there was a lot of stuff. There was a table full of bottles, and I didn't want to check each bottle one by one, so just hold the X button. It's going to search everything, and whichever bottle you want to pick it up, and you could even open chests from here and stuff like that. So it's a really good tip, so thanks for that comment. Like in this room here, there was a lot of stuff, and just as a bonus tip, incense is really valuable for some reasons, and it doesn't weigh much, so if you see incense, pick it up. Some easy gold. And another thing it could reveal is these levers that you might have missed behind boxes and stuff like that. So yeah, go around, make sure you search, you know, and you might open some secret doors here, and who knows where they're gonna lead. Another thing that it's useful for is picking up things on ceilings that you might have missed because of the camera. So when you see something on a ceiling, using that search, you could maybe shoot it and see if it does anything. In this case, it fell down on this coffin, blew it up, and there was stuff inside, so that's pretty cool. So make sure to use that. In a dialogue, you could leave your tooltips on to see what your character is going to roll on a check. So for intimidation, this guy's not very good, 1d20, so just leave the conversation, change character, someone that's a bit tougher, maybe better intimidation skills, and then put the tooltip on. It's going to be 1d20 plus 3 plus 4, so she's better off at doing that test. Another tip is if you're having a hard time jumping because you're playing a dwarf or a druid or small character, you could change shapes if you have a spell, or if you're a character that can change shapes. Spiders are really good at jumping, So you could transform into a spider and jump into areas that would probably be too hard to get to if you don't have the jump spell. So spiders are really good at jumping. Make sure to change into those if you have a hard area to reach. The opposite is if there's a small area and you can't get into, like this little crevice here. Again, change into something smaller, like example a cat, and that should be small enough to get into that little crevice. It's really fun to transform. I transform for fun in this game because it's just fun to walk around as a spider or something. So yeah, transform often. For holes that you want to get down into, use your camera and see if there's like a little ledge that you could get into. If you see a really big hole and characters are talking about the hole, maybe use a feather fall spell on you and your party, and that's going to make everybody be able to jump down on ledges. It's a bit tricky sometimes with the camera on how to get to that ledge, but you're going to see that you're not going to be taking damage anymore, you're not going to die or anything like that. And yeah, just gotta make sure your camera is okay, and who knows, it might trigger something, but no spoilers here. In a battle, if you see like wrath or any word pop up on one of your characters and you don't know what that means, just go to your character sheets and characteristics and go to that word and it's going to tell you. So for example, wrath gives me +1 bonus damage with a melee weapon, so those are always good to pay attention to. If you got to kill something that has to be done in sneak but has a crazy view of everything, like this floating eyeball here, what you want to do is walk out of its line of sight, out of the red area on the floor, go into turn-based and try to shoot it from turn-based, and that's going to be pretty sneaky, except for that cow. That cow saw it, but that doesn't really matter. And for the last tip, if you're fighting someone and like this guy's full health, he has 43 HP, an easy way to get rid of him is if he's next to a ledge, just ram that enemy, and once you're next to him, go to the shove action and shove them off the cliff, and that takes care of an enemy in one turn. So yeah, if someone's next to a cliff, use it, shove them off it. If this helped you, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.